So there's this man who has a comedy channel on YouTube. Up and down the content he creates. Zip, 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 getting himself into scrapes. Another thing he has is a passion for the works of the 5 Who fans channel. One day he thinks, what's the point of having a channel that doesn't involve Doctor Who? So he goes off to watch all Doctor Who related videos on the internet. But he can't find any Doctor Who comedy videos anywhere. No one has ever heard of it. Not even Billy Tracy knows why this desperate person is trying to contact him over Facebook. Doctor Who comedy skits literally doesn't exist. So he knows he's got to make a such channel. This didn't happen, by the way. I've seen many Doctor Who comedy skits on YouTube. It's all great content. No, this is called the YouTube paradox. Google it. The newly found Whovian panics. He can't bear the thought of a video sharing site without any funny, witty, and intelligent Doctor Who comedy skits. Luckily, he knows how to make a YouTube account and how to upload videos. So he vows to make the greatest Doctor Who comedy skits on the internet. And he gets them uploaded. He becomes Doctor Who Is My Life. The legacy continues. Barely production style. My question is this. Who put the thought into his head? Who made him even think about making Doctor Who comedy videos in the first place? Five Who fans. Welcome to this review. Yes, that's right, everybody. Welcome to this review of Before the Flood. This was an episode that really surprised me a lot. But before I get into my actual review of this episode and my rating and everything like that, I would like to give you a little recap of the episode. So here we go. The episode starts with the Doctor explaining the bootstrap paradox to the audience before landing in the 1980s with Bennett and O'Donnell. They discovered that the Tivolin Prentice is still alive. The writing has not yet been scratched into the wall, and that the spaceship is actually a hearse carrying the Fisher King. Meanwhile, Clara, Cass, and Lund realize that the Doctor's ghost is uttering their names instead of coordinates. The Doctor contacts Clara and tries to reason with his ghost, but it unlocks the Faraday cage, releasing the others. The Fisher King awakes, killing Prentice and writing the words on the wall. O'Donnell, Bennett, and the Doctor flees, but they get separated, and O'Donnell is killed. The Doctor confronts the Fisher King, tricking him into leaving the church and the Stasis Chamber behind, and he uses the missing power cell to destroy the dam wall, flooding the base. The Stasis Chamber opens in the future to reveal the Doctor inside. The ghosts are sealed within the Faraday cage, and the Doctor and Clara leave. The Doctor asks Clara who thought of what to program the ghost to say, drawing a parallel with the bootstrap paradox. Alright, let's get right into the core. And I'm going to tell you what I think of this episode and what I think of Doctor Who in general, because this is actually a turning point for Doctor Who in my opinion. Doctor Who has finally redeemed itself in my opinion. It's become really good. I loved all of Russell T Davies's work, and Season 5 and 6 were pretty good. And Season 7 was actually also alright, up until Season 7.5, when Clara became the official companion. That's when I felt the show took a dive and started getting worse and worse. And obviously I also really loved the original series, you guys know that. But it really broke my heart to see my favorite show in existence start to be really, really terrible. And obviously I blamed it on Stephen Moffat, the head writer. And I honestly think that Season 8 was some of the worst Doctor Who episodes ever in the history of the show. And I do not mean that because of Peter Capaldi, because Peter Capaldi as the Doctor is freaking amazing and one of my favorites. I have been nothing but positively surprised over the outcome of Season 9 so far, and this episode is no exception. In my review last week I said, however, the second part of this episode is mainly going to be happening around the year 1980, which is where the Doctor goes after traveling back with the TARDIS in this episode. So I really hope that we'll be able to save this two-parter. And it turned out to be true. Now, from what I've just said, I'm guessing that you can all tell that I really liked this episode. And I did. I absolutely loved this episode, hands down. My favorite part of this episode was probably the explanation in the beginning of the bootstrap paradox, which was also why I had to do a parody of it in the beginning of this video, obviously. Also, I just really loved how everything worked out in the end. How the Doctor tricked us all and still survived and all of these things. And it just, you know, this is what I love. This is what I truly love about Doctor Who. It keeps being able to surprise me positively, and that is amazing. In the darkest hour, the Doctor still manages to save the day, and he does it so wittingly, and so interestingly, and so intelligently, and I love it. Also, I really loved how the two lovebirds got each other in the end. Not because it made any sort of sense, because it really didn't, but because I thought it was nice that the episode ended on a happy note. With all the sadness and everything, this was exactly what we needed. However, my only critique of this episode is the underwater base scenes. And mostly, this has to do with, you guessed it, Clara. In this two-parter, Clara has had absolutely nothing to do with the outcome. Her presence has been absolutely pointless. Really though. Explain to me what would have gone differently if Clara wasn't there. Anyways, I'm gonna give this episode 4.5 out of 5 TARDISes. Because it was really good, but I just can't give it 5 out of 5. I just can't. Just like part 1, this episode also lacked a lot of character development. We never got to know any of these people's backstories, and we never got to grow any sort of attachment to them, yet we're supposed to be sad when they die. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next week for the next review. Be sure to subscribe and all that fun stuff, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.